So today we're going to take a Desertboy XL and we're going to convert it to a Desertboy-17. So as you can see, we've got it torn down here. So we've got the new plates here. This is DB17, Desertboy logo engraved right in. The DB17 is going to give you all this much extension in the back. There's mounting holes on here for the ESC clip. In case you want to screw the ESC to the top, you can fit that right on there, just on the inside like that. On the right side plate there's also ESC mount holes at the back right here. And you don't have to extend the motor wires or anything for the stock flux. We're also going to use the internal battery tray, and this battery tray bolts right in. We're also going to use the included steering brace that replaces the radio box where it holds the two towers here. We also highly recommend that you use the upgraded HPI spring. The HPI number is 102522. It's a heavy duty servo saver spring. Gives you much better steering rate. So we're going to start with the servo assembly here, and it mounts into these holes right here. Those two holes and those two holes. So the screws are going to go in here from the outside of the right chassis plate. The spacing that you see here is intended to fit a slightly wider servo, and it has a heat sink on the bottom of the servo case. If you have a heavy duty servo, you need that space that you see right in here. What we like to do is to install the 4 screws here first. You can mount the blocks onto the side plate, tighten down the servo. There's a stock servo horn on here, right out of the HPI flux. We're sticking our receiver on the back of the servo with a piece of Velcro tape. Keeps the wiring really clean. So we've now installed the powertrain onto the right side plate. The steering servo horn is accessible right through the bottom of the plate right here. These bolts here, anything that's going from aluminum into aluminum, like the motor mount bolts, make sure you use Loctite. We installed the hex screws for the transmission gearbox. Installed the battery tray, and as you can see, there's a little notch in the front of the tray and not in the rear. As low center of gravity as everything can possibly be in this design. Just put a little strip of foam along the side. So you got 74 millimeters inside the tray. It's 184 millimeters long, so you got all the height you could want here. This height right here is over 60 millimeters already. Take out the bottom screw first, and the reason for that is because on the bottom of this shaft there's a hex, and once you get the screw out of the bottom, you can hold the hex on the bottom to get the top screw out. So you can see we installed the new spring in here. We added some ball bearings while we were in there. You can see one right here. So we're going to install the front section of the truck now. Easiest way that I've found to do that is to simply bring the slide plate over to the chassis or to the front end, line up the pin, the locating pin on the bulkhead, and the screw eye that fits there. Don't worry about the bottom for now. And then once you have that in there so that you think it's not going to fall out, grab a screw and just stick it in there by hand to keep the bulkhead from falling out. With the front dog bone, the easiest way to do that is to stick the front of the dog bone into the differential first, and then you can see very clearly how much room you're going to need at the back. And to do that, you can just simply push the side plate out of the way, because you've got the loose screw on there now. You've got the front end ready to go. You can see straight through here. It's super easy to get your screwdriver on there to screw the servo horn on. So what we're going to do on the rear is just grab the section of the chassis that's assembled with the front end on it and simply sit it on the pin there at the back bulkhead. M4 screw from the screw kit. Now the rear dog bone, we're going to do the same as the front. We're going to put it into the differential first. Then we're going to slide it into the center transmission. So we've installed the left and the right side plate. Spur cover is as simple as it gets. You stick it right out the side of the hole in the chassis, and then you can put the pin into the hole in the DB17, and then just simply move the spur cover. After the pin is in on this side, you can just move it around so it fits in, and you add your short screw. You'll see down in here where this original motor clamp right here is just about to touch the servo. In some cases you actually have to grind off the tip of the motor clamp just to make sure that you don't have it actually pushing on the servo. If you have any bigger pinion gear or any bigger spur gear, then you'll never have a problem with the fitment there. Let's install the lower skid plate, and the way to install this is it simply fits in between the plates. As you can see, it fits right in between. So all you have to do is push it down so it goes into the hole, it locks into the chassis right here, and then once you have it down at the back, you can push it in at the front, then slide the plate forward, and you'll actually hear it click. And we've got a little locking screw here in the back. On the right hand side plate there's a through hole, and you can put this great big long M4 screw right through there. And then you'll see on the left side plate there's a threaded part right there just in front of the corner of the skid plate. Just tighten that down. You can't push it up, because if you can't push the skid plate up, then you can't unlock it from the front, and you can't unlock it from the clip on the side. The DB-17 has an incredibly huge battery tray, as you can see. Even if you have battery packs that have banana clips on them, you can sit one of those like that, have the banana plugs out the front. You can put this one on this side plate with the banana plugs in the rear. You've still got a room for another whole battery pack in between if you wanted to use a 6-cell. These are great packs, elite packs we got from rclipos.com. There's 4 cells right there, one on each side plate. Lots of room. Let's take some of these massive 200 amp, 5000 milliamp batteries, 40C batteries. We want to use 4 cells. Let's put one on each side. No, I feel like using 6 cells. Great. Stick one of those in there too. You still got lots of room in there. You can stick both my fingers in there. You could even take the original battery trays, mount them onto the side plate like that, run another 2 cells in the front on each side. There's almost no end to the stuff you can use for the battery packs in this. I've got 4 2-cell battery packs inside this battery tray. So at this state right now, if I got all these wired up with the 4 banana plugs and the 2 that are pre-wired, I've got 10,000 milliamps, 35C batteries stuck into this thing, and it's right inside. The whole thing is completely inside the chassis. Now let's have a look at the Esc mounting options. This is the stock Savage Flux speed control. We're showcasing all this stuff with the original Savage Flux stuff. Castle Creations motor clamp here. Doesn't get any easier than that, does it? These 2 screws have holes threaded into the chassis side plates in a couple different spots, so you can just bolt the thing right in. And there's 2 holes right here in the chassis plate. This simply bolts right in there just like that. You've got room for the wiring. The stock wiring fits right in here. You don't have to cut or trim anything. The speed control bolts right in. If I do that, how am I going to get my battery packs in there? You have no problem mounting them, because you've got tons of room in the battery tray to stick your battery packs. So now I've got my speed control in the back, along with 4 cells of battery right inside the battery tray. So as you can see, we've got our speed control mounted up front. There's the speed control. We're using the Castle clip. All the wiring is up front. It's all neat and tidy. In our experience, this mounting position with the open motor on this face has had absolutely no heat issues whatsoever. And we've run them hours and hours. DB-17 really isn't as long as you think it is. So this is our hard fiberglass shell from Alan Woodall from the UK. This shell fits right on to the DB-17, as you can see. But we happen to like the one with the open tunnel, because you can stick your hands right in there, change your batteries, whatever you have to do. You get lots of access on both sides. They also sell these in black and yellow and red and silver. This is a Giganti XL HPI body. That fits right on the DB-17 with no problems at all. Is instead of trimming out the wheel well where they have it on the stock body line, it's a lot nicer to match the wheel well body, the wheel well line with the actual truck.